Hi everyone, on today's video I'm going to show you how to make this really cute granny square cat beanie. So without further ado, let me tell you guys the materials you need to make this project. So to make this project, you're going to need some 100% acrylic yarn. You can also make this with cotton, but I'm going to be making it with acrylic, and it's a weight for yarn. You're going to need approximately 110 grams. With that, I'm going to be using a 5mm hook. If your yarn is a smaller weight, you can always use that and use the recommended hook size for the yarn you're using. And lastly, you're going to need a darning needle to weave in the ends, and that's pretty much all you need. So we can now get started with the tutorial. To make a granny square, the first thing we're going to do is make a magic circle. To do that, you're going to take your yarn and roll it 3 times on your 2 fingers like this. Once you're done doing that, you're going to take your hook, pass it underneath these 2 loops, and grab this loop over here. Then you can turn your fingers and chain 4. So you're going to yarn over your hook and pull through 1, yarn over your hook, pull through 2, yarn over your hook, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 4. And now you can remove your fingers from the magic circle. What we're going to do now is make double crochet clusters, and this chain 4 counts as 1 double crochet. So to complete our double crochet cluster, we have to make 2 more double crochets in the magic ring. So yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the magic ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Alright, now we have 1 more double crochet to make. Yarn over, insert your hook in the magic circle, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Once you're done making your first cluster, you're gonna chain 2. So yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're gonna repeat this pattern 3 more times, which is to make a cluster of double crochets followed by a chain 2. Alright, so we're now gonna make our next cluster. Yarn over, make a double crochet in the magic circle, 1, 2, and 3, chain 2. So go ahead and repeat this 2 more times and I'll see you guys then. Alright, so here I'm done making all of my cluster. I have my first cluster, chain 2, second cluster, chain 2, third cluster, chain 2, and fourth cluster, chain 2. What we're going to do now is close the magic circle. So what you can do now is just remove your hook, and what you can see is you have 2 loops here. There's 1 on the top and 1 more on the bottom. So what we're going to do is pull on the one that's on the bottom. So pull on it pretty tightly, and once you're done pulling on that, you're going to see that you're left off with a big loop like this. So to close this loop, you're going to grab the tail from the beginning and you're going to pull on it. So go ahead and pull on the tail, and it's going to close that loop. So you can pull pretty tightly, and like this your magic circle is completely closed. So you can take back your hook. And now to finish this round, we're going to slip stitch in the 4th chain from the beginning. So the top chain over here. So insert your hook through that top chain like this. You're gonna yarn over, pull through, and pull through again to make a slip stitch. To start a new round, you're gonna chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're now going to start by making a cluster in our first corner over here, and be careful not to crochet in this hole. You really have to crochet in the corner over here. So as I said previously, the chain 4 counts as 1 double crochet, so we have 2 more double crochets to make in the corner to make our cluster. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook in the hole from the corner, and make a double crochet. And we're gonna make another one to finish our cluster in the same hole, just like this. Now we're gonna move over to the next corner over here, and we're gonna make a cluster. We're gonna chain 2 and make another cluster. So again, move over to the next corner and make a cluster. So make 3 double crochets in the same hole. So here's 2 double crochets. I have 1 more to make my cluster. So here's my first cluster. Once you're done doing that, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and now we're going to make another cluster of 3 in the same hole. to yarn over, insert your hook in the same hole, and make another cluster. Just like this. Now we're gonna move over to the next corner and we're gonna repeat the same thing. We're gonna make a cluster, chain 2, and another cluster. So here's our next hole. Make a cluster in that hole. Once you're done making that cluster, you're gonna chain 2, 1, 2, and make another cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so go ahead and repeat the same thing on this hole over here, and I'll see you guys then. Alright, so I'm done making my cluster, chain 2, and my other cluster. Now the last thing we have to do is complete this corner over here, because at the beginning we only made one cluster in that corner, so we have to make another one to complete it. So go ahead and make 3 double crochets in the next hole, in the next corner. Just like this. Now once you're done doing that, you're gonna chain 2, 1, 2, and now to finish this round we're going to slip stitch in the 4th chain from the beginning. So here's my chain 4. I'm going to insert my hook in the top chain, just like this. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and pull through again to make my slip stitch. So now we're done with round 2. To start round 3, we're gonna chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now again, we have to insert our hook in the corner, not in the little hole over here, really in this corner. So we're gonna make a cluster here. So we have 2 more double crochets to make there, because the chain 4 counts as 1 double crochet. So here's, all right, just like this. Now what we're going to do is make another cluster in this next hole. So anytime you reach a corner like this, you have to make a cluster, chain 2, and another cluster. But whenever you're not working on a corner, you just have to make one cluster. So this is not a corner, so we're just going to make one cluster over here, which is 3 double crochets. So make your 3 double crochets in there. Just like this. Now we're gonna go over to the corner, make a cluster, chain 2, and another cluster. So this is 1, 2, 3. Here's my first cluster. I'm gonna chain 2, 1, 2, and make another cluster in the same hole. So as I said, we're only going to make a cluster, chain 2, and another cluster when we reach a corner. So the next hole is not on a corner, so we just have to make a cluster of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Just like this. Continue doing this and I'll see you guys when I reach the last corner. So again, in the corner, you're gonna make a cluster, chain 2, another cluster. Here in this hole, only one cluster. When you reach the other corner, cluster, chain 2, another cluster, and then here is only going to be one cluster. All right, so here I have reached my last corner. Here we're going to make one last cluster in there. Once you're done with your last cluster, you're going to chain 2. And to finish this 3rd round, we're going to slip stitch in our 4th chain from the beginning, right in here. Like this. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through again. And now we're done with our round 3. So we have 2 more rounds to make, and we're going to be repeating the same steps over and over again until we're done with our 5th round. So I'll explain this one last time. So to start a new round, you have to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. On the corners, you always have to make a cluster, chain 2, and another cluster. And when you're not working in a corner, like in these 2 holes, we only make 1 cluster. Here in this corner, I'm gonna make 2 double crochets because the chain 4 counts as 1 double crochet. Just like this. Now I'm gonna move over to this next hole. It's not a corner, so I'm just gonna make a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Next hole here is not a corner, so only 1 cluster. 1, 2, 3. And now here I have reached my corner, so I'm gonna make a cluster. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna chain 2, 1, 2, and make another cluster in the same corner. Just like this. So repeat these steps over and over again until you have a total of 5 rounds. Here we have started the 4th one. So once you're done making this round, you're only gonna have 1 more to make. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that and I'll see you guys then. Alright, so here I'm almost done with my 5th round. I chained 2, and now what we're gonna do to slip stitch is that we're going to pull a little bit of yarn like this. Then we're gonna cut it. Now what you're gonna do is grab your darning needle, pass the yarn through, and you're going to insert your needle through the 4th chain. So right in here, like this, and pull through. And then you're going to want to pass your needle in the back loop of the chain 2 you just made at the end. So right in here. Like this, and then you can pull on it. And once I'm done doing this, what I do is I make a little knot. So I just take whichever closed loop I have. I pass the yarn through, but not completely, just like this. And then I make a knot. So I pass the tail through the loop and make a little knot, just to make sure that everything is secure. So now you can go ahead and weave in all of your ends, and I'll see you guys then. Just so you know, my squares measure 5 inches by 5 inches. So if you're using a thinner yarn, you can make more rounds to have a square that measures 5 inches. And if you're using a thicker yarn, you can make maybe less rounds to make sure you have a 5-inch square. So once you're done making your first granny square, go ahead and make 7 more because we need a total of 8 granny squares. What we're gonna do now is attach 4 granny squares like this. So how you're gonna do this is that you're gonna figure out the right side of your granny square. So this is the right side and this is the wrong side. So here again, this is the right side, it's pretty clean, and then when you turn it around, this is the wrong side. You see that there's a little like ring here. So what you should do is put the wrong side facing you like this. Once you have your 4 squares like this, what you're going to do is cut about 50 centimeters of yarn. You're then going to take your darning needle and pass the yarn through like this. And we're going to start with these 2 squares over here. So what I do, I just grab them and do like this and align them. The first thing we're going to do is insert our needle through the front loop of the second chain. So as you guys remember, we did a chain 2 in each corner. So we're going to insert our needle through the front loop of the second chain. So here's my first chain, my second chain is here. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this is my first chain, and this is my second chain, but this time we're going to insert our hook in the back loop like this and pass the yarn through. Next, we're going to insert our needle through the back loop here of the next stitch, and then we're going to insert our hook in the front loop of the other granny square like this and pass the needle through. And we're going to repeat that all across. So here I'm going to insert my hook in the front loop of this next stitch and in the back loop of the other stitch like this. Again, back loop here and front loop of this stitch in front here. So go ahead and do this all across until you reach the corner. When you get to the chain 2, we're going to insert our needle in the first chain in the front loop and in the back loop of the chain on the other side, like this. And we're gonna stop there. So now that we're done with these 2 squares, we're gonna do the same thing with these 2. So grab them like this and align them. And we're going to insert our needle through the front loop of the second chain and insert our needle through the back loop of the second chain on the other side and pull the yarn through. Now we're gonna go over to the next stitch, back loop, front loop here, pull through, front loop, back loop, pull through. And so again, repeat that all across. Once again, when you reach the end, we're going to insert our needle through the front loop of the first chain and in the back loop of the other chain, like this. So now that we're done sewing like this, we're going to turn our work, cut around 50 centimeters of yarn, grab your needle. So now what you're going to do is repeat the same steps we did for this side. So insert your needle in the second chain we did in the corner, in the front loop of this square and in the back loop of this square. And once you reach the corner over here, I'll show you what to do to close the little gaps we have in the middle. So when I get to the middle and I have these 2 holes, I kind of do like a little crisscross. So I just insert my needle like this. And then I do it on the other side like this, just to close that little gap. And now we can just restart doing the same thing all across. So you can find your second chain right in here and the other chain on the other side, and just continue sewing all across. So once you're done sewing your first panel, you can weave in your ends and go ahead and do the same thing for your 4 other squares to have 2 panels of 4. All right, so once you have your 2 panels, here I have the right side facing me. What I'm going to do is just turn around this one and place it on top of the other one. So here I have the wrong side facing me and the 2 right side are facing each other like this. So wrong side and then the wrong side here too. Now we're just going to repeat the same steps we did to sew the granny squares together, but we're gonna sew the 3 sides over here to leave one side open to put our head in. So here you might want to cut a bigger strand of yarn, maybe 75 centimeters. And we're gonna start in the second chain, again in the front loop of the first panel and in the back loop of the second panel like this. Pass the yarn through. Then you're gonna go over to the next stitch in the back loop and in the front loop on the other side, pull the yarn. So go ahead and sew these 3 sides together. All right, so here I'm done sewing the 3 sides together, and the last step is going to be to make little knots and weave in your ends. So what I do is I take my yarn, I pass it through a little loop, whichever loop, and pull it, but not completely. Then I take the tail and pass it in the loop and pull to make a little knot, and then I weave in my end. So go ahead and do this on the 2 sides. All right, so when all of your ends are weaved in, you can turn around your work. You can fold a little bit to the brim, and you're officially done with your little cat beanie. So I really hope you guys enjoyed making this little cat beanie. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more crochet tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.